What's up, my friends? How you doing? It's your buddy Phil here. I hope you're doing great. I hope your week is off to a great start. I guess I'm probably speaking to my friends in the EMEA region or Asia Pac, wherever you are. Some of you are in the US. You might be somewhat awake because you might be grinding. Are you grinding? You gotta grind, folks. Whatever you need to do in life, you have to grind. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. It's past midnight, but I'm grinding. Brandon is in Maryland. Are you studying, Brandon? What are you doing up? Good to see you here. I wasn't expecting to see someone from the US here. I was expecting my friends from Saudi, Oman, Mozambique, Nigeria, other parts of Africa. Those are the folks I was expecting to see, my friends in India and Pakistan. So I'm quite impressed to see you're grinding. You know, I'm here in the office. It's past midnight. I shouldn't be here. Dev, good to see you, man. I'm grinding, man. There's a project I just needed to get done. I just needed to see this project to an end, you know. And that's how it is for a lot of people. Achintia is drinking the PMBOK. I doff my hat to you. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Another US person, no more grinding. Well, you've done your grinding, haven't you? You've done your grinding. For me, my grinding has been going on all day and all night. You know, there's some projects you just have to keep grinding till it's out, because if you stop, you know that you're just going to fall at the spindle, and that's going to be the end of the story. So I want to encourage you, those of you who are studying right now, you're doing a great job. Keep grinding, folks. Keep doing it. You know, there's a lot that we need to cover, you know, in our syllabus to get this monkey off our backs. And you just have to keep grinding and grinding and grinding until you're done. All right? So I want to encourage you. Grind. Have you done everything it takes? Have you done whatever it takes? I'd like to attend PMP exam on 23rd. So, yeah, Dev. Hey, Dev, have you done whatever it takes? That's my question for you, Dev. Have you done whatever it takes? Brandon says, I've only managed to get just beyond 5 chapters. I think I missed the rest of your chat, Brandon. But I kind of get the gist. Hey, it's not over. Keep grinding, Brandon. Keep going. So a lot can change in a blink of an eye, Brandon. Let me give you this analogy. So my students that I train in the live classes, I've had a lot of students come into my live classes not being very good at even just the basic knowledge areas and process groups. They don't even know them coming in. Day 1, they feel exhausted. Day 2, they feel hopeless. Day 3, they come in and they're like, I think I'm getting the hang of it. And by day 5, Brandon, these folks are on an upward trajectory. In fact, one of the classes I held for Info Global Solutions, the Underdog, this was in Irvine, Cali, the Underdog, he came from behind, was the first person to get the mock exam completed over the weekend, and was the first person to get certified in the entire class. Someone who came in green, didn't study, nothing. So it's not really about where you are right now, it's about what you do with the rest of the journey. You can accelerate beyond belief, you know. It's all about the now, folks. Now and beyond, not, oh, this is the only stuff I've done. Okay, what are you doing right now? Are you doing the right things now? If you're doing the right things now, you'll catch up. You'll catch up. So don't look at your now as being, oh, I'm only on chapter 5. No, you look at what you've covered. From 1 to 5 for many people is a challenge, Brandon. So don't look at, oh, I'm just on 5. Look at what you can do. All right? Beyond today. I had another student. I've talked about this student quite a bit on social media, because what this student did is quite remarkable. What's his name again? He's out of Toronto, Canada. Parmeet, yeah. Parmeet Singh. Parmeet Singh. Check him out. You see him on LinkedIn. These are real people. These are not just some randomly made up names. Parmeet he was a beast on the learning management system. Let me tell you what he did, Brandon. And Dev, listen up as well, Dev, because you're pretty much in the same boat as, in that you're wondering, what am I going to do? My exam's coming up. So this guy found out about Praizion on a Thursday, came on our learning management system. Now, if the learning management system is bad, there's a problem. But if the learning management system isn't a bad learning management system and you can study and you can move volume and understand stuff, it'll be good. So this guy came on the system anyway on a Thursday, studied Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday. Watch this. Never been for training. Brandon, you're on chapter 5. On Thursday, this guy was on chapter 0. He had never been for a PMP training course ever. All right? So I'm talking about on a Thursday night, never been in a PMP course. Thursday night, online LMS, all on his own. Friday night, the same thing, grinding for 12 hours. Grinding Thursday, grinding Friday, grinding Saturday, grinding Sunday. Monday, goes in to take the PMP exam. Boom, PMP. It's doable. He put in roughly 50 hours, but those were probably peak 50 hours. I don't know whether he was drinking tons of coffee, how he stayed motivated and stimulated and in the zone, but whatever he did, he made those chapters real. So Brandon, those remaining 8 chapters, you got to make them real to yourself, man. You got to, time management, you have to make it real to yourself. Taking a look at your critical path and understanding all of the different relationship types and dependencies, make it real. The more real you make it to yourself, the more it's going to stick. And the more you're going to be able to tackle those situational questions. Same thing for chapter 7, earn value. Give yourself earn value scenarios, right? Don't just read blindly. Do you think it would be okay to use my last week for ITTOs and practice exams? I don't know about that, Different things work for different folks. Let me give you another analogy. I always give stories because you can learn from what other people did. This one just happened last week. Student of mine grinding crazily. Now don't grind all the way to the exam because you run out of gas, you'll be burnt out, and bad stuff could happen. So anyway, this guy, he grinded and grinded and grinded, got into the exam, brain freeze, brain shuts down, can't process the information. It's there, but can't process it. I think I talked about this last week as well. You might have watched it. Anyway, fails the exam, comes back on a Saturday. Didn't pass on a Tuesday because of a brain freeze. Didn't study, Brandon. Didn't do any of the mock exams, no ITTOs, none of that stuff. Just relaxed his brain. So if you've got the right stuff, it's already inside you. It's just inert. It's there. So anyway, this guy goes in on a Saturday, went from below target to above target in every area. I mean, this is someone who was below in a lot of areas and almost needs improvement in some, but burst through, not by grinding and going all the way to the end. There's a time to grind, but there's a time to power down and let this thing charge up and go into action. Because if you've got all the ideas, there's balance, there's balance. And you need to plan out that balance for yourself. For Parmeet, he was grinding all the way. Well, he hadn't done much grinding until the Thursday. So, some folks do an MBA and they've got project management education from the MBA. He was one of those people. So that's how he got to be qualified to take the exam. But I think what I'm trying to tell you is power up, grind, but don't forget to power down. Don't leave the machine on because it's not going to perform when you need it. All right? Now is your grinding time. So, Dev, your exam is what, on the 23rd? You've got almost a month to grind. And then when it comes to about 3-4 days to your exam, you have to start powering down. A lot of people, they kill themselves by grinding all the way to the end. No, there's a time to grind, there's a time to load up on the knowledge, but there's a time to rest the CPU. Hi Ben, are there any PMP apps you can recommend for PMBOK 5th edition? Make your own app, man. I've stopped recommending stuff, Ben, to people that I haven't used, because in the times I've done it and people don't get good results, I start feeling bad. I honestly don't know of many apps that you can use. I've heard of different things, but I'll just say whatever you do, find a face to the name. You know, I can only go by real PMPs and real people. So find a real person, right, who is a real trainer or owns a real company. And if you speak to them and you get a good feeling about their product, don't just use any product. It's like putting rubbish into your body. You know, find a training company that does apps. If you cannot speak to whoever does the apps, I wouldn't use it. There's too much poison out there. Too much poison. A lot of rubbish on the web, and a lot of makeshift companies coming up with a lot of nonsense. Also, Ben, bear in mind, you want to use your time wisely. Too many people using their time, spending time on apps that aren't really testing them on much, you know. What I would say is go to Google and just type in Quizlet, PMP. I think there's 1 or 2 flashcard quizzes that will test you randomly for free on your computer. But more than anything else, I would say make your own. Make your own. You might also, hey Dev, can you do me a favor? Can you just type in savageonsaturday.com so that Ben and the other folks, I'm not sure if you guys are in the group, but if you're a member of savageonsaturday.com, you could ask people in there, you know, what they've used, but I'm not 100% sure what the latest and greatest is. We had apps out there, but we've taken our apps down for now. We're going to develop some more apps for the 6th edition, but right now we don't have any apps. I think we've got 1 app on Google Play, just 1, but we're working on stuff for the 6th edition now. But I would say make your own. There's a student of ours who made, it's not an app, but it's a really cool learning tool. Dev, that tool that Andy shared, I don't know if you got a link for it, but on the Savage on Saturday group, you could get this really cool, it's like a data flow that this person put together. Thank you, Dev. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. So you want to get the IQ test? Yeah, get the IQ test, Dev. What have you been waiting for? Can I test you on a few things really quick? All right, I'm just going to rattle through a few things. You tell me where they are used or where they're from. Are you ready? Okay. So type into me, Dev. Type into me, where do you get the output? And I put this on the group earlier, so I hope you've closed your gaps. Type in, where does validated changes come from? Validated changes, where's that from? Which process is it from? Validated changes. Hey Dev, you're taking too long, man. Are you sure that you know this stuff? I'm teasing you. I'm just giving you grief. Just ignore me. Validated changes. Hey Preston, validated changes are not from scope management. Thank you, Achintia. Achintia got it right. It's from control quality. Validated changes is documented proof that your change request has been what? Implemented. So validated changes are actually an output of control quality. All right, let me give you another one. Validated changes is an input. The previous one was output. Validated changes are an input to which process? Validated changes. Where do they go? Where do validated changes go? Thank you, Dev. Dev got it right this time. Did he get it right? No, that's wrong, Dev. Achintia got it right again. Achintia is slamming it. Hey, Dev, you need to amp up on your studying. You know you're my buddy. I like giving you a lot of grief. Achintia got that one right. So validated changes is part of your monitor and control project work. Let me give you another one. No, validated changes do not go to validate scope. They do not go to validate scope. Validated changes is an output of control quality. It's documented proof that the deliverables that you're checking in quality control really have the change requests inherent in them means you've carried out the change requests. See? All right, let me give you another one. Schedule forecasts comes from which process? This is so cheap. You should get this one in 2 seconds. Schedule forecasts comes from where? Where do schedule forecasts come from? I'm sure Chinche is going to get this one right. Dev, you should get it right as well. The answer, thank you, Dev. The answer is control schedule. All right, next question. Where do schedule forecasts go? Thank you, Chinche. You got that right as well. Hey, Jed. Nice try, but not quite. Schedule forecasts, where do they go? Where do they go? Schedule forecasts. Which process do they go? Which process do they go to as an input? Not procurement. Where do schedule forecasts go as an input? Achintia is killing it. Achintia is correct. This is the level of pinpoint preciseness I want you to get to, because it shows mastery. The questions on the exam aren't like this. But if the questions on the exam allude to schedule forecasts or cost forecasts, you got to know it, man. You got to know. I'm glad we're having this conversation, Dev, because you're one of my great students. I want you to slay this exam. Achintia has been on the journey for a long time. Actually, Dev, while you were off because of the family mishap, I think Achintia had persisted on the journey. So anyway, guys, let me give you another one. Cost forecasts come from which process? Cost forecast. Where do cost forecasts come from? Yeah, I know, Dev. I'm just giving you grief. I'm just teasing you. I totally understand where you are, and don't worry. You're gonna amp up. You're gonna beef up, and you're gonna kill it. Thank you, Dev. It's from control cost. So again, the input. Where do cost forecasts go? Cost forecast. Thank you, Achintia. You're correct. Where do cost forecasts go? Cost forecasts. Where do they go? Where do they go? Thank you, Dev. Now you're talking. Monitor and control project work. Very good. Awesome. All right. Let me ask you three more. Work performance reports is an output of, I know you know it in your sleep, guys. So humor me. I know you all know it. Ben, I know you know it. I know you know it. All of you on the call, I know you know where work performance reports is from. That is like the cheapest question ever. So humor me and type it in. Which one, Dev? It's monitor and control project work, actually. Work performance reports is from monitor and control project work. All right. So you knew I was going to ask you. Okay. Tell me a process. Are you ready for some creativity? Tell me a process that is at the lower part of the table on page 61. In other words, the lower half. You know, if you break the table into two, everything under, what's it, integration, scope, time, cost, everything under quality. Tell me something under quality that work performance reports goes to as an input. Nothing above, something below. I'm making it harder for you now, because I know that you would have given me an answer from integration right away. Tell me where work performance reports go in the lower half of the table on page 61. Work performance reports. Thank you. Achintia got that one right. Lower half, Dev. Lower half of the table. You know, you've got the upper half. So tell me another one, because Achintia has taken one. I think you've got two more options. Ben, good job. Awesome, Ben. Very good. Ben is correct. Good job. Control procurement. I didn't see what else you chatted in. I'm sorry, Dev. But Ben got that one right. Control procurement is another one. What's the final one in the lower half of the table where WPR goes? Work performance reports is an input. There's some special processes that WPR goes into in the 5th edition. You've said manage project team. Thank you, Achintia. That again is a correct option. Manage communications. Because your work performance reports, what are you going to do with them? You're going to distribute them. So Ben got that right. Achintia has gotten 2. Okay, there's one more. One more in the lower half of the table on page 61. No, not control stakeholder engagement, Ben. You guys are in the zone. Thank you, Achintia. It's control risks. All right, now the obvious one. Top half of the table. Top half of the table. Top half. Top half of the table. Where does work performance reports go in the top half? Anything above everything above quality management, I mean. Everything above. I didn't mean to tell you which process group. I think I've spilled the beans. Not control costs. That's where it comes from, Achintia. It comes from monitor and control project work, so it cannot go into it. Not direct and manage project work, Dev. There is a process everyone forgets. Think about it. Where would you use a work performance report within integration? I've given you lots of clues. No, Dev, no, Achintia, no. Not close project or phase. The obvious one everyone forgets. Hey, Kenya, you are still awake? Oh my goodness. You are burning the midnight oil. Good to see you online though. Yeah, I told you in 2 hours I would be at my work desk. I wasn't joking, I'm at work right now. Achintia is correct. It's perform integrated change control. Yeah, you guys are slamming it. Very good. So that's the level of pinpoint precision. All right, let me test you on tools and techniques. Just about 3 minutes here and then I'll be on my merry way. All right. I want you guys to tell me, in which process do you use the tool and technique known as approved change request review? Where do you use approved change request review as a tool and technique? Any ideas? Approved change request review. Tell me. Tell me, folks. Approved change request review. Where do you use that? And I'm giving you the PMI's 1 minute 12-second rule. You should have given me the answer by now. Approved change request review is a tool and technique of nope, 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 and nope. Ben and Kenya, nope. Dev, nope. Approved change request review. This is fun, isn't it? This is what you need to do if you're getting ready for the exam. Get your family members to test you. You get a lot of mileage, you find a lot of gaps. Anyway, I'm not your family member, I'm your PMP brother. We're in the battle together against the PMP exam, aren't we? It's only your buddy Phil that could be here at 20 minutes to 1 trying to help you. You see why I tell you show your buddy Phil some love? Your buddy Phil is trying to help you to kill the beast. Approved change request review. Come on guys, come on. You know this thing. Approved change request review. Come on. Show Pimpy that you know it. It's not closing. It's not procurement. Thank you, Achintia. Achintia has finally uprooted the answer. It is control quality. Yes, it's control quality, folks. Sorry, I can't see this. RSV Vixel, Ris Vixel. Thank you for chatting in. Sorry, I can't see. The phone is a little bit small. I'm not on the usual computer I stream from. Yes, Ben. So here's the idea. You get an approved change request. It comes from performing a graded change control, and then you implement it. But at the same time, you are reviewing the approved change request against your deliverable in control quality. Thank you, Jed. I'm glad you find it useful. Yeah, I suggest quiz yourself with family and friends. It helps. Don't worry. Hey, Dev, the way to gain hold of the ITTOs is to be relentless in practice. You know what Andy did? You saw Andy's image and how he drew everything out painstakingly. That's what you're going to have to do, man. You're going to have to grind on time. Don't wait till the 15th to start doing it. Do it now. So I know in India, I know it's early. So do it now if you can. Take out a piece of paper. Hey, folks, why don't you download my free PMP cram list? Go to Google, type in PMP cram list, all one word. Of course, Dev. You already know the answer to that. The PMP IQ test workbook is a killer book. A lot of people say, oh, it's small. You're not looking for volume, you're looking for effectiveness. So, Ben, that file, unfortunately, I've mentioned it before, it has pretty much all the ITTOs and stuff in sequence. So, it's part of PMI's IP, so we can only share it with people who are on a registered course in the PMI's CCR registry. So people who are on our full-time 35 contact hour course registered with the PMI, they're the only people we can share that with. But hey, Ben, you can build your own, man, especially since you've got voice to text. It's easy. Open up an Excel sheet and just read it all out. You know, I had one student that I featured on our PMP Breakfast Club. This guy read the entire PMBOK guide from start to end, recorded it, and was listening to it as he got ready for the exam. So you can actually create one of those things if you do voice to text and do a few corrections. There's actually a cool voice to text app within Google. I don't know, you can check it out. It's good for reciting stuff and having voice to text. It's called dictation.io. It's kind of cool. But I'm sure there are a lot more effective ones that can do it for you, perhaps even right there in Excel. You might want to check it out. Dev, get the book. Get the book. It's going to help you in the long run to make the ITTO stick. All right, let me give you a few more ITTO, one more tool and technique question, or maybe two more. Depends on how quickly you get this one. Let me give you a cheap one. Product analysis is a tool and technique of what? Product analysis. I've probably asked you this a million times in Savage on Saturday. You're probably bored of the question now. Tell me. I knew Achintia knew it. Achintia, when is your exam? Is it next week? Is it next week? And have you done the marathon mock and all those mocks of ours, Achintia? Remind me, please. I think you've done those mocks, haven't you? 24th of March, right? Okay. Thank you, David. It's scope. Achintia, have you taken our marathon mock? Have you taken the 200 question PMP exam prep mock? I can't remember now. I'm guessing that you've taken one of our mocks, but I might be wrong. Remind me. You got very good knowledge of the ITTOs. That's good. That's where you want to be. You want to be in that zone. You want to get to like 100%. Oh, you haven't taken it yet. I'm sure you'll do well when you do. Yeah. All right. So product analysis, tool and technique of define scope. Let's see. Let me give you one more. Technical performance measurement is a tool and technique of what? If you were in Savage on Saturday this past weekend and you don't get this right, I'm going to come look for you. I'm going to come harass you. Thank you, Achintia. Awesome. You indeed took notes. Very good. All right, folks. It's been really nice chatting to you. Yes, control risks. Good. Been really nice chatting to you. I wish you all the best as you prepare. Keep grinding. Don't grind all the way to the end. You know, it's kind of like in earned value. You know, we do forecasting, EAC. Right now, don't look at where you are and say, oh, look at where I am. No, forecast. It might look like you haven't moved, but what happens? Your EAC, based on a brand new bottom-up ETC, what's that formula? What's the formula for that one? Your EAC based on a brand new bottom-up ETC. Which formula would you use for that? Tell me. I'm trying to draw an analogy, but let me see if you know the formula. Oh, Dev, you need to be using the book like yesterday. That's a book you need to. So the PMP exam IQ test workbook, you open up the PMBOK guide. Thank you, Ben. Ben is killing it. Good job, Ben. So the IQ test workbook, you need to open up the PMBOK guide. You can do it blind test, but I would say if you're trying to learn, open up the PMBOK guide, look for the answers. Ben, great job. So what am I saying? I'm trying to say that your EAC, the same way you're not moved by where you are now, there are two things. You could say, oh, I'm going to do a brand new bottom-up ETC, and I know that this is how much I'm going to spend, you know, or I know my project is going to come to an end successfully if I have this amount of money. So look at where you are. Do you have enough time to study to the end? Of course you do. I told you about Parmeet, who did it in 5 days. So just think about it. Okay, how much time do I need? Think about it. People go for a boot camp, a 1-week boot camp, and they kill the exam after going for a 1-week boot camp. You, from now to the time you're taking the exam, you can do, I want to say 4 boot camps. Ben said, what is typical versus atypical? So typical would be your BAC divided by CPI. That's typical. Atypical would be what you do not expect. So typical variances, use your BAC divided by CPI. Atypical, you would use your AC plus BAC minus EV. Yeah. Did I get that? Did I skew that? Typical, atypical. I'm having a brain freeze right now. So it's between your BAC divided by CPI versus your... So if you expect your... Yes, so if it's a one-time thing that you don't expect to continue into the future, that's atypical. Typical is your BAC divided by CPI. Atypical would be your BAC minus EV plus your AC. All right. You know those formulas, don't you? When would I use atypical? And when would you use typical? So you would use typical if you expect your CPI to continue into the future. So if what happened on the project is going to happen for the rest of the project, you would use your BAC divided by CPI. So you're working on a project, the cost of, I don't know, a particular material has gone up on a particular week. Do you expect it to continue? Yeah, typical. You would use your CPI to gauge where you would end up. But if it is atypical, you would use your ETC forecast based on the work remaining being completed at the budgeted rate. That would be atypical, and that would be your BAC minus EV plus your AC. All right. I'm so sorry. I'm struggling with my glasses. I need to put the phone miles away, and by the time I do, the chat has gone. Thank you, Rikesh? Rikesh? Okay. I hope that gives you clarity, Ben. I actually have a video on EACs, nothing but EACs, that I suggest you check out. All right. Join the Savage on Saturday, guys. If you haven't joined Savage on Saturday, go to savageonsaturday.com. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm prepared to grind. Yeah, I've still got about a 20-minute drive, so I'm fine. But you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you hopefully on Savage on Saturday. All right, those of you who are taking the 6th edition course, I'll see you in a few hours, 18 hours thereabouts. All righty. Bye for now, folks. Bye, Jed. Thank you, folks. Bye, Ben. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.